In episode number 789, I shared a conversation with Jordan Powers. The title of that episode was From Stress Management to Soul Level Freedom. And in it, Jordan came to me seeking some strategies and some tools and maybe frameworks for helping to manage stress in the midst of uncertainty, specifically as it related to an upcoming event that he is hosting for his business purposes. Now, when in that conversation, I proposed the idea of, instead of talking about tips and ideas and frameworks for managing stress, would he be open to the discussion of potentially instead focusing on eliminating stress? Now, in that episode, I also mentioned the resistance I myself had to this idea of eliminating stress or having my life go well and feeling good all of the time. And yet I talked about the fact that I experienced a transformation over time. And today, I even mentioned there that I experience a lot of things that would have thrown me into the gutters emotionally, mindset-wise, and kept me stuck from moving forward, ruminating on all that's going wrong. But that was a past version of me, and I stated very confidently, I don't experience stress today. Now, that was true in the moment that I said it, and it is my truth pretty much most of the time. I'm not stating that I never drop my level of consciousness and that I never experience anxiety or fear or stress. It's just that today, because of certain practices in my life, because of how I perceive many aspects of life today, and from the perspective from where I sit a majority of my life, I become aware of those emotions. I identify them. I observe them. I let them flow through my body, and I apply the tools and strategies, specifically what I discussed in episode 789 with Jordan, to the situation, and that stress moves out of my body. It's not avoided. It just doesn't stick. It doesn't stay. Now, in this episode, I want to share with you a conversation I had with somebody that I am so honored to be able to share this story with you. You see, many people will say, Cliff, this is all fun and good, and it seems like we can take a situation such as, oh my gosh, how will people perceive me? And maybe we can eliminate that stress when we come to a logical understanding that it's outside of our control, and what we want on the other side might be worthy of a little bit of misunderstanding from other people. And I can see how I can potentially maneuver myself into a non-stressed level of consciousness in certain situations and circumstances. But Cliff, to say that you could go through life and be anxious about nothing, that just is a stretch too far. And one of the things that I've mentioned is my mentor in life, one of my mentors in life, Dan Miller, sent me a text message after he was diagnosed that he only had, at the time he thought, months to live. It turns out it was weeks. And I want to read to you what that text message said. This was on December 20th, 2023 at 9:19 p.m. Eastern Time. Cliff, I wanted you to hear this from me rather than through the grapevine. I've always encouraged people to ask, what does this make possible? 2 weeks ago, I thought I was an extraordinarily healthy 76-year-old guy. But on the 7th of this month, I discovered that I have advanced pancreatic cancer that has already spread into my liver and bones, past the point of treatment. Only pain control from here on. Doctors are saying maybe 6 months max. So I have the gift of being able to think and reflect. By the way, do you notice that? He's just been told that he has 6 months max. No treatment possible, only pain control from here on. And yet the very next line, so I have this gift. I'll continue. So I have the gift of being able to think and reflect. Having amazing conversations with Joanne, my kids and grandkids. We're celebrating now rather than after I'm gone. And I get to reflect on my legacy. You are a part of that legacy. I don't need to be propped up in the corner or have a monument with my name on it. My legacy is firmly embedded in people like you that I've had the privilege of interacting with in the past few years. You are my legacy. You are the torchbearer of the principles I borrowed from the previous great thinkers. Joanne and I have lived the life we love for 55 years together and have loved having the opportunity to help inspire others do the same. I've loved creating new adventures, and now I'm anticipating an incredible spiritual transformation. Thank you for being who you are and for carrying a tiny flame for me to the many you now influence. And yes, I'm still exploring the remaining possibilities for what does this make possible. Your friend for eternity, Dan Miller. You see, this is not the first experience that I've had with someone who is faced with what could be argued life's greatest trial, the end of your physical existence. It seems to be the number one fear for most people. And yet, when notified that he has 6 months max, the first thing he thinks of is the gift that it has given him. The idea of celebrating now versus after he's gone. And an excitement about the adventure ahead. The spiritual transformation. You see, all my life through faith, I've met many people who claim to have a devout faith in God, whatever that looked like for them, and yet those individuals, including myself for most of my life, were filled with anxiety, fear, self-doubt, worry, pride, all sorts of other things that just seemingly did not align with the teachings of the primary core of said faith. And yet, there have been a handful of people that I have witnessed over time where it wasn't about doctrine, it wasn't about dogma, it wasn't about religious obligation, but it was a lived experience, a relationship with what is, unconditional love and non-judgment. And those who found the way to live in alignment with the truest version of who they are and not bogged down by their conditioned preferences and thoughts and beliefs that were inherited by generations past with all of their fears and worries, but instead with the confidence and experience of knowing the ever-presence of the energy that creates worlds, an experiential knowing of the presence of God, for whatever that means for each of these individuals that I've been blessed to witness in the face of some of the most challenging trials. I've seen them look death in the face and smile in acceptance, welcoming the gift in excitement for the journey of transformation ahead. Dan Miller is one of those examples. But you might be thinking, well, of course, that's somebody who, they've just resigned to the level of certainty that diagnosis brought. What really is challenging, Cliff, is when it's uncertain. It's the uncertainty. At least if I were told that I were going to die and there is no way of avoiding it and it's going to happen in such a short period of time, even I could probably come to grips with that. But what about the unknown? And I have many a story of many a client that I have worked with over the last couple of decades where even in the midst of that, those who live in alignment with their truest self, who understand their authentic self outside of the ego identity, these people are able to face anything. They accept what is, they don't resist it, and they look for, based upon what is observed, what do I desire from this place? What do I desire to create as my reality given the circumstances that I now face? And I'm delighted that I'm able to share with you one of those additional examples, because Freya Casey, somebody I've had the honor and privilege of coaching for more than a decade now, she now has 3 young children in her home. She's a business owner. She's a solopreneur in many ways. She is responsible for everything that happens in her business, her online presence, and her business primarily has been her online presence. A YouTube channel with hundreds of thousands of people who follow her. She's got courses that have members that desire to hear from her consistently, and she has a small little team that manages some stuff behind the scenes, but she's the person in charge. Also, a single mother who decided that she wanted to have even a 4th child and did embryo adoption. And that was successful. Pregnant with her 4th child. And then, not too far into that journey, she started to experience some abdominal pain, some gas, some bloating. She didn't know what to do about it. She thought it might be just, with the pregnancy, but eventually it got so bad and created an intense amount of discomfort in her body that she decided to have it checked out, only to discover she had an advanced case of stomach cancer. And yet, she did not immediately turn to worst case scenarios. She did not immediately turn to stress. Now, I only discovered this about her story a few weeks into her experience. We were not in a current season of coaching one with in our professional journey together. But when she did reach out to me, she was in a place of calm and quiet and presence and creating her own reality. And she was already in the process of, what can I do given what I have been experienced in this life? Not resisting it, but knowing what I want and how I'm going to approach it. And with calm and without stress, she moves forward, even today. And that's what you're going to hear in this conversation. And I count it such joy to be able to share a living example of this. Now, I didn't ask Freya this, and I don't want to make any assumptions here, but I would imagine that when the diagnosis first came, it would be only human to experience a little bit of dis-ease in the body, some anxiety, a little bit of fear, and start hearing those voices in the head. I didn't ask Freya if that's what she had experienced and for how long it lasted, if it did happen. But that doesn't matter. What matters and what's a part of this story is that Freya has been equipped with the tools, the techniques, and the strategy to be able to experience a diagnosis of advanced stomach cancer while pregnant, being told that you should let the child be removed from you to give you the best chance. And yet that's not in alignment. And yet do all of this. Come to a place of peace. Come to a place of radical acceptance. Come to a place where you are one with the flow of life. And this conversation demonstrates that. Freya, it is so good to see you.
Liv, I just scrolled through Facebook and I saw that you were live and there was no one there. So, and my twins are out in the yard with my mom for a few minutes. So I was thinking, there's a few minutes of quiet. Why not talk to Cliff? And it's good to see you.
It is so great to see you. I mean, I've enjoyed our Voxer exchanges back and forth, but wow, it is so good to see you. You're looking good given all that's going on in your world, but wow, what a gift this is. I know that you had mentioned you'd love to join me for some of these, but this is a gift. So how can I be of service to you today?
Well, maybe I can be of service to some of the people who are going to watch this. What Steve was saying just now is just so very true. You know me, I create lots of content, and I basically have always had that attitude, just hit record and be myself and talk about what I know that I know. um, Other than that, he was completely right. People just want authentic nowadays. Like, there's all this AI and it's crazy. So much fake stuff, and people believe it in the beginning. And I was like, no one actually wants it. People want real people and real problems that we want to solve and identify with. Yeah, I'm going through that and it's painful and this is joyful. So, with that said, those who don't know me a little bit where I am in life right now and how am I navigating this. I've been a content creator for many years. I'm a professional singer and vocal coach. I currently live in Germany. I've had all these plans to move to the US this year, back because I used to live there for 7 years before in Texas. And that was a plan. I have 3 kids. I'm a single mom, a 13-year-old and 3.5-year-old twins. It's a lot, but I remember the conversation I had with Cliff years ago. I had one child and I had such a desire to have more, but I hesitated so much to go the path of becoming a single mom by choice again and going through with embryo adoption, which I then did, which then resulted in twins. And now it's hard to believe, I'm 30 weeks pregnant as of today with another baby, also conceived through embryo adoption. Um, I went to Spain in January, first attempt worked out. And then came the diagnosis of stomach cancer, which kind of threw me a wrench. And now I have had to change plans. Of course, we are not going to the US right now, and it's all well. I'm grateful to be in Germany right now because health insurance covers everything 100%. I think I've had to like do a copay of like $100 once for little things, but this is a blessing now. And so when I was diagnosed, I was 20 weeks pregnant. And the doctors, they kind of signaled me, you might have to think about terminating the pregnancy because you need this treatment. And it's not anything that's, you're not joking around with this. Stomach cancer is very serious. And I was like, I always said, I don't know the future. No one does. I know what I want my outcome to be. Whatever I can control, I will contribute to. I will do the treatments. I will do the chemos, whatever works and whatever I'm allowed to do while being pregnant, let's do it. And let's not jump to conclusions. Let's just take one day at a time and 1 week at a time and then assess. Let's look at the status quo. And I've been kind of stoic this entire time. And I attribute a lot of it to my mindset work that I did so much for the past few years. Stoic doesn't mean you don't care. It just really means you're not like, if there's something, the circumstances that are beyond your control, you're not sweating it. You're just taking it and you're just living it. And I believe that this is supposed to be my experience. This is my reality now. And every procedure that came up and every pain that I felt physically, which there was a lot, very miserable, a lot of really horrible pain in my stomach and vomiting and never being able to eat, losing so much weight and carrying a baby. But I never had the thought, it didn't cross my mind that, oh my God, maybe I die, or maybe my kids will be without a mom, or maybe this and maybe that. The only thing that exists is right now. Right now, what can I do? Right now, how can I handle the pain? And right now, how can I ease my mind and just let it go and accept? And this has worked out well. Recent scans showed that after 4 chemos, cancer is receding already. I can eat so much better. I have gained weight. So it's looking good. And baby, it's like, it's amazing because my body is acting like there's nothing going on. I'm 51 and my body's acting like I'm a 25-year-old pregnant woman with no disease going on, and which is I'm grateful. But it's amazing. I just want to encourage everyone to not label anything as, and we've talked about this a lot, this is really good and this is bad, this is evil, this is like, it sucks. In my human body experience, I allow myself to have moments where I'm like, oh, this hurts, I hate it, this sucks, I don't want to lie around anymore, I want to do things. But while I go through that experience, I always know that I will live through it. I'm just accepting it. This is right now. And let's just take it one moment at a time. And so far, everything is looking so good. And just wanted to share this. And a lot of our work has gone into the positivity, and all the doctors and all the nurses that meet me, they're like, I can't believe how positive you are. And I'm just like, what am I going to do? Is it going to change anything if I'm like, oh my God? And everyone around me is always whining about, oh, I have so much this and work and complaining. And I'm like, I could complain, but why? There's no, it's not helpful. So,
Yeah. Thank you for so authentically and transparently sharing such personal details. And I know for a fact it is definitely going to help several individuals out there that need to hear and to see and witness that somebody who is experiencing something that might be their single greatest fear, and yet you can still have a mindset of gratitude, of appreciation, of positive anticipation and expectation, and also at the same time, non-attachment to what the end result is, and non-attachment to the exact way that you want to control everything. That you can literally say, okay, it is what it is, and complaining or resisting or demonizing anything that is doesn't do anything of value. But what is within my control is the ability to fully perceive the situation for what it is to the best of my ability and ask myself, what does this make possible? What is it given the circumstances? What are the things that are within my control? And you can also paint a picture in your mind. What do I desire as my outcome? If there's anything within my control, what does that picture look like? What's that vision look like? And then say, okay, what are the things that are within my control for me to be able to do that, and trust that intuition and that insight that will come to you. And yeah, the number of times I think, Freya, that you and I have had conversations in coaching sessions over the years where seemingly like they were big things at the time, now in comparison seems so insignificant. But the great thing I love about our journey, you and I have been working together for at least 7.5, 8 years off and on. And what I've noticed with you, and of course I see this in my own life and I've seen it with so many people, is that we get a little bit of a trial and it triggers us. And we work on our non-attachment. We work on our not resisting what is. We work on this, and it's like, oh, okay, I made it through that. And it seemed like the biggest thing. But then it's like you get through that and you figure like, well, I figured this all out. I've got my mindset all under control. And then some other seemingly bigger thing comes along. More's at stake here. And I've seen the number of little things that have popped up. And when I say little things, they're not little things. I've seen a progressively growing number of things. But each time we go through it, we have this opportunity. And yet here you are facing seemingly one of the biggest things with the biggest stakes that are possibly out there. And yet, because of your history of saying, you know what, what am I in control of? What is it that is the reality in my mind that I will create around what I'm experiencing? You talked in a Voxer message, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, that you create your own reality. What does that mean for you at this stage in your life and with what you currently have going on?
I think the biggest thing that I learned is I don't use words anymore like, I'm going to fight this, and I'm not pushing it anymore. I'm just welcoming what I desire. And I research and I'm open to receiving. Now they're coming in. I'm open to receiving the path and seeing the path, which I feel I didn't see the path to the reality that I desire when I had this, I'm going to fight it and I'm just going to be tough and I'm going to resist this and this kind of boxer mindset. Just by relaxing, it's almost like giving birth. If you're a woman who watches this and you have given birth naturally, you might know that when you are tense, your body is tense and your mindset is tense, things don't really progress. But when you just try to relax your muscles and your mind and just flow with it, I feel always like I'm a ship and there's the current. I could resist the current, but the current is gonna go the direction it's going. It's strong, it's subtle, but it's very strong. So I'm not resisting it anymore. And I think that's what has helped me find that current that is my reality, that is my desired reality. I'm seeing it and I'm feeling it. And I can only feel it when I have that sensitivity of not covering it by being, having all these really tough attitudes, just softening up and opening up on the inside.
Yeah, I love that. The way that you describe that, the Insight Timer is one of my favorite apps on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I pay $20 a year to be a premium subscriber to Insight Timer, and that allows you to have access to their courses. One of my favorite courses, I don't know if it's an 83-day, 84-day, or 88-day, but it is an 80-something day course on the Tao Te Ching. by Charles somebody. And the Tao Te Ching and Taoism and the idea and the concepts of going with the flow of life and not resisting and not attachment, and yet at the same time effortless action, and the concept of what's called Wu Wei. You are such an embodied example of that with what you are currently experiencing and what you're expressing with your words just now. So it is. There are several times where I've been blessed in my life to see somebody who's going through the things at the level for which you're going through them, and I've been gifted with the embodied example of these things that seem like philosophical, like, yeah, nobody really exhibits that in reality when push comes to shove. And I'm like, before having some friends and peers and even clients who have gone through these things to be this embodied example, I always pointed people to Man's Search for Meaning. It's like, well, he wrote that in retrospect and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I'm telling you, there are these things. And one of the things that I appreciate, Freya, is I have in conversations told people about you without actually saying who you were, because, obviously I didn't want to, share any of your private information. But I have said, I have this friend I know who is currently pregnant and has been diagnosed with this, and this is going on, and this. And I'm going to tell you right now, there are very few people that I could get on a call with right now that will have a more upbeat, appreciative, gratitude-filled, positive mindset beyond that of this friend of mine, which now I will say Freya Casey. And I'm going to point them to the episode where you can hear her voice. So I appreciate you.
Cliff, great talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much. I know that you've got the children there. If there's any time I can be of further support, encouragement, you can always reach me via Voxer. And I love hearing your updates. And of course, I also appreciate when you share when you're experiencing the ebbs and the flows, and reach out anytime. Happy to send my thoughts and positive energy and prayers and anything else that I can send your way that would be of support and encouragement.
Thank you. We'll definitely be in touch.
Well, there you go. That was my conversation with Freya Casey, and I would love to know if this spoke anything into you that resonates. Now, if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to go back and listen to episode 789. And if you have listened to both 789 and this episode right here, I'd love to hear from you. What's coming up for you? Would you be interested in learning some of the tools, the techniques, and the strategy to be able to face whatever trial life brings you without anxiety, fear, worry, self-doubt, without concern? Would you like to be able to go after your dreams and goals no matter what's going on in your world without being overly concerned about how you'll be perceived by others? Whatever it is that you're facing, whatever is stopping you from living the life you feel called to live, there are a couple of ways that I have available to be of service to you. In this season of my life, for I don't know how long, I'm hosting regular 90-minute one-on-one conversations for free in an Ask Me Anything live stream format where I open up a Zoom call. You can learn more about this over at cliffravenscraft.com/join, because I'm inviting you to join me for a one-on-one conversation for free about any topic. For as long as I continue to do these live streams, you are invited. cliffravenscraft.com/join. No cost, no strings attached. This is not a sales funnel. It's not marketing. It's just me holding space for whatever needs to come up for you and I to talk about. So again, cliffravenscraft.com/join. A second offering is the Free the Dream Workshop. You can learn more at freethedreamworkshop.com. I finally have a full sales page for this workshop. at freethedreamworkshop.com. Our next workshop is coming up this week, Friday and Saturday, August 29th and 30th, here in my hometown. This event, this particular session, is pay what you want. You could literally attend for free if you so desire. Now, I do want to let you know that we are already we've submitted a request for our location where we're holding the workshop for dates in October. And they have not yet been confirmed just yet, but I am going to tell you what we are currently shooting for so you can look at your calendar right now. We're shooting for Friday, October 17th and Saturday, October 18th. So look at your calendar right now. Block those dates out. I should have a confirmation on those dates within the next 2 or 3 days. And once I do, we will update the website over at freethedreamworkshop.com so you can register for the October version of this workshop. I hope that you will join us. By the way, this October session is also going to have the pay what you want model, which again, you could choose to attend this workshop for free. Nobody would know that you attended for free other than myself and my wife, and we would hold no judgment whatsoever if you decide to do that. All right. So again, Friday and Saturday, October 17th and 18th. Go to freethedreamworkshop.com and register. And if it's not up there for those dates yet, email me, cliff@cliffravenscraft.com, and say October workshop in the subject line and tell me what's on your mind, and we'll make sure that you get a seat reserved. By the way, I don't know how long we'll continue to do the pay what you want model, but certainly this one here this week and also the one in October will be that. So get in on this while you can. freethedreamworkshop.com. And then finally, I want to let you know I am available for one-on-one private conversations, just you and I, totally confidential. Nobody will ever know what we discuss, where we can discuss anything that's going on in your life. And I want to encourage you just to head over to my website if you haven't done so in a while. It changes from time to time, and it recently just changed. And if you go to cliffravenscraft.com, in the nav menu, it says Coaching and Mentorship. If you click on that, it's my old Work With Me page. And it's got this written on there right now. Let's journey together. It's not about hiring a coach. It's about you standing at a threshold that you can no longer ignore. Read the rest of that page. It's got my primary coaching offer, including the investment of what it takes to work with me for 1 year. And there's an application there if this resonates with you. All right. With that being said, thank you so much. I look forward to potentially having either a conversation in a live stream with you, maybe spending a couple of days in one of these Free the Dream workshops, or the potential of journeying with you for 1 year through one-on-one coaching and mentorship. Until next time, may you be blessed and be able to experience all that life brings you with peace, love, and a quiet joy that surpasses all understanding.